Good morning, everybody. I'm Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads. And today, we're going to be covering Facebook and Google ads. We do a lot more than just Facebook and Google ads, but those are pretty exciting, and we definitely need to talk about them. We've been here for 14 years. We have a whole lot of tools to help agents advertise, help them build out their farm markets, help them get buyer leads, and help them get seller leads. And you can do this whether you have your own listings or you don't. I do want to let everybody know that there are tools for your CRM. You can blast out e-flyers. There are very powerful print tools. And of course, we have ad software. There's a lot of social media content. And you should really be using all these elements of our platform, not just Facebook and Google. But since that's what we're here for today, I want to talk about a couple of resources that we've got, because there's a lot to unpack with Listings. It's a powerful platform. There's a lot of components in it, and you need to understand how to get that. One way of learning about it is joining our live classes like today. And today we got a Facebook and Google class. If you go to leadgenwebinars.com, you will be able to sign up for our free classes. So I'm not sure how you found this one, but I'm going to send this to everybody right now, leadgenwebinars.com. I do Facebook and Google. I do top tools for more listings, and I also do get started. So every class that we do, we record. And every one of those recordings is sitting on this page, which is our YouTube channel. So I'm going to send this to everybody right now. And I definitely recommend, I think that the Facebook and Google class, the one that we're doing today, it doesn't radically change too much. So you can see one of these and get it. But the top tools for more listings, which is the third class on this here, that's something that you want to watch maybe 2 or 3 versions of these calls. And you'll notice that I do it every 2 or 3 weeks, because I don't say exactly the same thing. There are different components, different things you can do. And so I have a little bit of a focus each time that I do that. Alina, in case we don't look at your ad, and I'm going to try look at it later, email me at vince@listingstoleads.com. We'll have a look and see what's going on. Now, I want to remind everybody, I know a lot of people are logging in right now. If you look at the GoToMeeting chat panel, there is an area that says more, and you can open up materials. Go to the material section and download this and print this. This is the kind of outline that we're going to use for this call. There's also another one there, which is called Top Tools for More Listings. I think you want to download both of those and print those. You're going to want to have these resources. And a lot of what we're going to be talking about today is how to get buyers and how to get listings. We'll talk about ads in that way. Now, another great resource is our mastermind group. If you are a client, ask the support team to get you in this group. It is a private group. And that means if you're not in it, you can't find it. Okay. And this is where our clients come and talk about what's going on. It's also where Scott and I talk about the technology that's coming on. And people will just ask questions. But I want to share something with you that a client of ours just released and just shared with us over the weekend. This is Brian. If you look for Brian Mathewson, he is where? Give me a second, we'll find it. I signed up Brian's office, I think it's about a year ago. So right here in early April, he came in and said, hey, I've done a sold ad, and I've got one lead, and they're ready to buy and sell a home, which is, fantastic. I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. But before I do, I want you to listen to this so that you can understand, like, what I am telling you is really how it should work. You might hear me and say, he's just telling you this stuff. But this is a guy who owns an office, who has, I think, about 80 agents inside of his team account. And he's going through everything he can to get agents to adopt. And this discussion is him helping one of his agents get an ad going.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Brian.
Now, I'm going to just tell you, it's only 2 minutes long, but it is worth hearing the entire thing. Okay. This guy's from LPT. You'll hear it in just a
I
second.
wanted to share with you guys a little success story. So this morning I had a meeting with Thomas, the entire team, talking about listings and how are we going to go approach listings and how can we gain listings. Most of you are using the listings to leads platform. One of the things that you can do in listings to leads is market a property that is either under contract or just sold. So last week we closed 47 Trellis Court, popular property with us. We generated 114 leads on this property and probably closed 3 or 4 transactions because of it. What I want to share with you though is that after that meeting this morning, I ran a just sold ad marketing the fact that we had just sold this property. And within about 30 minutes, I got my first lead. And the lead went into my database and they got a text message that just simply said, "Hey, thanks for inquiring about the home in Conroe. What else do you think about moving?" That led to an additional text conversation and booked a 4 o'clock appointment to call the gentleman. And at 4 o'clock, Thomas and I called the guy and set up basically a $400,000 listing appointment along with probably a $450,000 purchase. The tools work. I encourage everyone to get out there and utilize different things. You don't have to have your own listings to market and listings to leads. And just wanted to share that. This ad cost me $4 today. I got $850,000 in volume. So implement it, be proactive, and go get you some listings. Talk to you soon.
Okay. So Michael's telling me couldn't quite hear that, and I understand that. Let me explain to you what he is saying there. Okay. What he said is, hey, I had a home in Texas and we ran an ad on it and it was a popular home. And I think this is a big deal. Alina was asking before the call started. She got 1 lead, right? And I think I can tell you this in case you don't know, curb appeal, how good that photo is going to really drive your results. Okay. And so what Brian was saying on the call, if you couldn't hear it, was that he got 114 buyer leads. Okay. And that's doable. It's not what most agents are doing, but he has an office and he has a team and he has a lot of people to feed. So he's got to figure out how to get leads. And so I want to show you first how he got buyer leads. What he's saying in the call, though, in that video, is that once the home had sold, once the home was sold, he ran a just sold ad on the property. And at the end, you might not have heard, he goes, this is a $4 ad. That's actually not a $4 ad. It was a $4 lead. So Facebook charged him $4 for that lead. And fortunately for him, his CRM followed up with a text, and that was a comfortable way for that person to communicate. So they started texting back and forth, and they got him into a phone call to set a listing appointment by the end of that day. That is very unusual. But there are some elements of that video that I want everybody to understand before we move forward. First, he had a good-looking home that he was advertising. And so here I have something that is just listed, right? And this is what he was doing. He clicks that property, and right up here it says Facebook and Instagram ads. And you click that button, and everything is pre-written. Everything is done. We have Facebook software here. It won't be sponsored by The Best Listing. That's my testing account. It's going to be sponsored by your business page. The first step is to connect your Facebook business page. All he did was create this button. So in the video, what he says is he got 114 leads. Okay. Now let me tell you, when we run a $35 ad for 7 days, which is the default setting, that's the maximum you can spend is $35. Okay. And Brian in the video has a big office. So he's not going to settle for $35. He's probably running $100 ads. Okay. And here's what you need to understand. On average, a buyer lead costs $3 each. Okay. Now, this property that he was running was in a place called Conway, Texas, which might have been a small town. I actually don't know where that is, but I think he is getting charged a little bit less than the $3 average. But let's say that he was paying Facebook was charging him $3 per lead. You would divide 3 into 100 and you could expect 33 leads. Does that make sense? You're paying per lead when you run an ad on Facebook. You're also paying per click on Google, but that's how it is. Good, Michael. Glad you can hear it. So and to go back to that video, what he is saying is he had 114 leads. So he probably ran multiple ads with a total value of probably somewhere $50. That got him 114 leads. In the video, he is saying he converted 3 or 4 of those leads already and got them into transactions, meaning they didn't necessarily want to buy that home, but 3 or 4 of them bought another home in Texas. So you can imagine the ROI if you're spending $350 and you are closing on 3 properties in Texas. That ROI is pretty significant, right? So that was the first part of the video. The second part of the video is he said we marketed this home on, and as it was for sale, it was a good listing. It got a lot of leads. It got 114 leads, but then they marketed it. And the video he was showing was that the property was sold. So when you move the property to sold, you can still run an ad on it, right? It's just that our call to actions are different. When a property is late stage, like pending or under contract or sold or active contingent, we're not looking for buyers. Our language is something like what you're about to see here. It says, this home is sold and that affects your home value. Click here to get your home value. Very simple, right? And I asked him, I actually did a call with his office yesterday. All he did was click on the sold property like we're doing here, and he clicked create an ad. Now, in the video, if you heard him say, he said, this ad cost me $4. It was actually a $50 ad, just like the default settings. And it's a 7-day ad. But what happened was the very first lead he got cost him $4. And so he's pretty excited to say, yeah, I spent $4 and I have $850,000 in volume, right? You can figure out what his commission is going to be, but the ROI is going to work. And so I just wanted to share that with you because that is the nature of Facebook. But let's put some reality wrapped around it. That is a very realistic experience that Brian had with his office. The average conversion of Facebook leads, you got to think of it in a 1 to 3% conversion. All right. And I want to speak about this because it's a big deal. And how do you convert a lead? And what Brian, the way he's converting leads is exactly what I would recommend is start with text. Here's the thing, guys. When you're running an ad with our property here, with our tools, we are using Facebook's ad software. Okay. It's built in, and that's why it's so easy. And when you see the ad, we're using something called lead forms from Facebook. And what that means is that when they see the ad, when the consumer sees the ad, there's going to be some text, there's going to be a picture, and there's going to be a button underneath it that says learn more. And when they click learn more, this little window pops up over on the right. And that says, would you like information, in this case, on that open house? And there's 2 options. One is to close the window, and the other is yes, submit my info. And in that form, their phone number, name, and email is automatically pre-populated from their profiles. And I don't know if you've ever been locked out of Facebook. They can kick you out every once in a while to make sure that you're the real person. And if you need to get back in, they're going to send you a text or they're going to send you an email. And if that's inaccurate, you're not getting in your account. So that tends to be fairly accurate. It's not 100% accurate, but in the case of Brian, converting 3 or 4 buyer leads out of 114, it's got to be fairly accurate, right? So that's what an ad looks like. You're getting leads with name, email, and phone number. And I know, back to the conversion story, a lot of you have heard the term speed to lead. Speed to lead. Has anybody here heard of that, right? You're getting a lead from Zillow, speed a lead. 3 people are buying that lead. They're sending it to 3 agents. You got to call them. That was awesome. That term speed to lead was created before cell phones. It's literally an old sales technique. Call the lead super fast. And what's changed since those days is cell phones are here. They tell you the number. They tell you it's a spam call. And there's a ton of spam calls. I don't know if you've heard these stories. There's so many scams of people calling you, selling you, what is it, the extended warranty on your car, getting your social security numbers, all kinds of crazy stuff. So do people want to take phone calls from people who they don't know? No, they don't. You probably don't either. But you're expecting that when you get a lead from Facebook and you're expecting them to take that call from you right now and come in your office in the next 24 hours. Let me tell you something, guys, that is not realistic. What is way more realistic is that those people saw your ad somewhere. Maybe they saw a flyer. Maybe they saw something on Facebook. Maybe they saw something on Google and they responded. And that means that they are interested. And you should develop that lead by texting and emailing multiple times in the first few days. That's what Brian did. And he was able to convert that lead into a phone call by the end of the day. Not into a meeting, but sounds like he's got a listing and a buyer and buying a home from that one phone call, which is fantastic. So I just wanted to say that a little bit about conversion, because a lot of people, a lot of realtors think you call them once and if it doesn't work, it's just a crap lead. And that's just so unrealistic. It's hurting you. So when we go to our ad section here, you'll notice that I've got some ads here. You will not have this if you come to here the first time. You're going to have a button that says connect to Facebook, and you connect, and then these 2 green buttons are going to be here. And this button here, Google, if you click here, it's going to tell you to subscribe to Google. And in the past, I would have told you, just start off with Facebook. Just start off with Facebook and get some ROI, and then you can sign up for Google. And I'm going to change that story a little bit. And here's why. I'm sure you all have heard that NAR created a settlement to get away from a class action lawsuit, and unfortunately didn't really iron out anything in terms of compensation for buyer's agents. So if you're a buyer's agent, in some places you really don't know how you're going to get paid. That's just bottom line. I'm sure it'll get sorted out at some time in the future. But what I do know is how you're going to get paid as a listing agent. And you know that too. So having listings is going to become a lot more important to the industry, to your competitors. And if you have listings, you can assure yourself that you're going to have an income, right? So a lot of what we do with Facebook and Google can get you buyer leads, and it can also get you seller leads, okay? So let's look at the ways to get buyer leads. We looked at it at first because we were talking about Brian, but I just want to remind everybody, the fastest way to get a buyer lead is to market a home that is open house or just listed or just active for sale. Leave it on lead ads. Remember I said it's pre-populated from their profile, so they're not typing anything in. Click create ad, and mine is going to be sponsored by our, what do you call it? Our business page, but yours is going to be sponsored by your business page. So this is actually great for your branding. Okay. And it's all done. It's going to target a city, usually tied to the city where the home is already. And you can just click publish. Now, I do want to say this for people who know there are a lot of you that sell in states that are in the southern region, like in the Sun Belt. And a lot of you are selling homes that are in like second home areas, right? Like for instance, near me is a place called Lake Tahoe, right? And what I would know is that, a lot of people down in Silicon Valley buy homes, winter homes up in Lake Tahoe. So if this home was in Tahoe, I could type in San Jose. And because that's right in the center of Silicon Valley, and I could say, hey, I want a 40-mile radius because it's a big area. And that would be a great ad for me to run if I was selling something up by the lake. What if you were selling something in Texas? A lot of people are moving to Texas. I keep reading about that. And they move from places like Chicago. They move from places Southern California. And if I want to take advantage of that with Facebook, I can just target right there. Now, I'm going to show you something that a lot of agents want to do, and I want to do it because I don't want you to do this. These agents know that people buy in Chicago, in New York City, and maybe and other places. There are other places, and they'll type in 5 or 10 different towns. Okay. And but their home is, I don't know, in Texas or it's in Florida. I don't recommend doing this. And there's a couple reasons why. One, your budget is only because remember, if the lead is costing you $3 each, you're only going to get 11 leads. Okay. But you're targeting millions and millions of people. So it's just not quite going to get you a bunch of leads. It's just going to get you 11 leads. But also, the real reason I don't recommend this is if you know that people buy in Huntington Beach and they move from Chicago and from New York, hit these up individually. Target them one at a time so that this ad will show you, hey, I got it hit 2,000 people in New York and I got 10 leads. That's good. If it hits 10,000 people in or 2 or 3,000 people in Chicago, because you target Chicago, but you get 5 leads or 3 leads, like that area is not so hot for you. It's better to target each city individually. This is if you're shooting outside, right? Outside of your core market. Most of us will do a radius around the home. And you might want to expand that radius. The default is 15 miles. You might want to go out 30 miles. You're in towns where maybe people drive 45 minutes to go look at a home. That's how you do that. Okay. One other thing that's really cool that we just added recently is you see how this photo is a static image, just one photograph. It's okay. That can work. But how can we make it work even better? Click this button here and it says you can change image or video. If you have a video, like maybe you're paying a videographer, upload it right here and it will replace that ad with a moving video. There's a reason that you want to do that. Okay. And that is that videos, when I tell you a lead costs $3 each, video leads cost less. See, Facebook wants everybody to put video on their page. Why would they want that? Facebook lives from ad revenue. And the more videos that you put on their website, the more ads, the more longer people are going to stay and the more money they can make. So when you're running an ad, what they're telling us is, hey, if you do an ad with a video instead of a static image like this, we're going to charge you less. We're going to make your dollars go further. Okay. So you click change this, upload a video, and it will do that. Right now, I'm going to do something and let's see if I can do it here. It looks weird. I'm going to click this button. Yeah, that's weird. And go back. There's something odd about this property. I don't know what the heck it is. But you want to use multiple pictures from the home. Okay. And I'm going to snap in a few just so we can see it and insert them. And now it's changed that ad, right? And I can click through and I can see it. There's something wonky about what we just did because it knocked out all the text and there was something, I don't know, somebody's testing something. But you can put multiple photos in here and this is going to be more effective than your standard single image photo because there's just a little more information and that's going to get people to click and log in there. Okay. Is that only available through the Listings to Leads platform? No, I think they have it inside Facebook, but we just make it easier. Yeah. And that's really the nature of Facebook ads is we're doing everything to make it really easy. But this is Facebook software. So you're basically working inside of your own Facebook. So anyway, that's what I'm showing you is that's how you can run an ad for buyers. So now I'm going to talk about how to run ads for sellers. Yeah, easier is better. And also here, you're if you're using our Facebook ad software, and I'm going to click on listing ad, and I'm going to do one here for a property that's sold. And that's what Brian did, and that's how he got it. One listing and one buyer. When you do a property that's sold, you'll see that it's all pre-written. There's some photos here. You can click over here and let's do that again to see if this works a little bit better. Yeah, this is how it should be. We've got this picture, which was already there, and I want this one, and I want this one, and you can only choose 5, and you click insert. And so it makes that ad look like this. It shouldn't mess up the text. So in this case, the text is still there. And now I can scroll through and get a better idea of that home just from looking at the ad. And then I can learn more and become a lead if I think so, right? And you might want to change the order of the photos so that the pool in this case is the last photo, right? So you can do that kind of thing. And targeting is there. You just click publish. And if you're doing that as sold, that can work really well. And that's going to get you listing leads, okay? Now, when you run an ad on a property that's sold, remember how I said buyer leads cost $3? When you run an ad on a property that's sold, Facebook knows that listings are more important to you. So they charge $7 on average. And you may not know, this is called pay-per-click advertising from Facebook, and Google the same thing, pay-per-click. And they set a price on the lead, right? So that's why I'm saying it's $3 or it's $7. And part of that price is on the competition. How many people around you are running ads, right? Realtors like you, how many are running ads? If there's a lot, your cost per lead is going to be higher. If there's fewer, there's less. It's why our clients often run ads during the holidays between Thanksgiving and February and March, because most of your competitors are taking a nap for the winter. And so the cost per lead just drops enormously. So what a lot of realtors don't know is if you run an ad on a property that is pending or under contract, not sold, the language is exactly the same. And because nobody is running an ad like that, Facebook doesn't know what to do. So they just charge you very little money. And our agents, our clients are getting seller leads with name, email, and phone number for about $2.50 on average. Sometimes it's less. So if you're running a $50 ad, you're getting 20 leads with name, email, and phone number when you do it pending or under contract. If you run a sold ad, you're going to get 7 leads because it's $7 each, and 7 into 50 is 49, and you get $1 left over. So if we're running buyer ads, which we started with earlier, those cost $3. You can divide. Those ads are typically $35, so you would expect about 11 leads. So that's the cost when you're running listing ads. Now, let's jump down to PDF guide ads. And hopefully you know that you have 80 PDF guides in your account. Each PDF guide is about 5 or 6 pages long, and you're branded with your colors and your logo and your picture on every page. So while mine is blue, if you're from Century 21, it's going to have Century 21. If you're from Sotheby's or whatever, your branding is going to be on every page of every one of these, right? And even if you're independent, it's part of the setup process. So if we say, hey, I want to run an ad for buyer guides, there's 40 of them. If I want to do seller guides, there's another 40 of them. And let's just do 5 dangers of overpricing. Okay, that's going to be relevant in probably every market, right? So I'm going to leave lead ads because we want name, email, and phone number. And we just click create. There's an extra step here. You do have to type in the name of the area that you're working. I'm going to type in Orinda. It's a small town near me. And notice it's going to be Orinda and 15-mile radius. Okay. Now, the radius isn't a big problem to me right now because I would do business 15 miles in any direction of Orinda. It's close to me, right? And the ad itself is not talking about Orinda either. So this can work out just fine. Okay. But here's the thing. when you run an ad on a PDF guide for a home owner, Facebook charges around $10 each per lead. So if you've got a $50 ad, which is the default setting, you're going to get 5 leads with name, email, and phone number. Let's compare that to the pending ad that I just showed you how to run, and you're going to get 20 leads with name, email, and phone number. So you can get more leads the other way, but this might be really good for your branding as well, because if a couple thousand people are going to see this ad, you're only going to get 5 leads. So, okay. And don't forget, there are 40 different guides, right? There are for homeowners. There's another 40 for home buyers. If you have a listing, that's the fastest way and cheapest way to get a lead. But if you don't have a listing and you just want to run an ad, you'll get a few leads, and that's good, right? So that's running PDF guide ads. Let's talk about the big kahuna, which is how do I run home value ads in my area, right? And you get home value, but property valuation plus, you get unlimited. And that's our instant home value page. And I have one. Remember, I was talking about Orinda, which is a town near me. And so I'm going to type in the zip code so that the ad is going to pre-populate some metrics from that zip code. Let's click create ad and let's look at what it's going to do. We're going to leave it on lead ads because we definitely want pre-populated name, email, and phone number. And notice the ad says, hey, 18 homes sold in Orinda in February. The high was 2.5 million. That's going to affect your home value. Click here for instant home value, right? I put a picture of the old Orinda Theater in the background of my landing page. So that's what's being populating here on my ad, right? So you would think, okay, everything is good. It's talking about Orinda, the pictures of Orinda. Let's go over here and let's type in Orinda. That would make sense. But I'm going to tell you why it's not working so well. That 15-mile radius, that's working against us. You can't tighten it anymore. And what does that mean? What it means is you have to look at reality and where is Orinda? Now, this may not be a factor for some of you, depending on where you live in the country. And are you in a dense area or are you in a more rural area? If it's a more rural area, you shouldn't have a problem. But if you're in a dense area like where I live, that ad could very well be a big waste of money. And I don't want you to waste money because it's frustrating. You want results. I backed out on this picture, on this map, and this white section right here is Orinda, okay? And if I back out just a little bit more, everything we see on this map over here where my mouse is, this is all 15 miles. There's only 22,000 people that live in Orinda, but I'm going to be hitting well over 1 million people that don't live in Orinda simply by using Facebook's default settings. This is a big problem for some of us who live in more dense areas. I hope you understand what I'm saying here, and I'm going to give you a solution. Take this box out. Don't use this location. Instead, go find a company like listsource.com or redx.com or Remine. And there are other companies that do this. Some of you are in MLSs where they just give you this data. This is what you want. And you want to start with this. We're really focusing on getting listings. When we want buyers, we don't need to go through this. When we want listings, we have to do this. You want to get a list of homeowners in a particular town, in my case, Orinda, who have more than 5 years equity, right? 5 or 6 years, depending on who you're buying the list from. There are companies that'll give you a grading, right? Hey, this is a high level, high likely to move or whatever. I don't really buy the value in that. If they have a listing for more than 5 years, they might be thinking of selling. You probably already know this, but the average length of home ownership in the US is 7 years, right? So if you're targeting people at 5 years, you're in the right ballpark, right? And so if you do that, you can use retarget current leads and you can retarget with custom audience. And hopefully you have a list. I don't have one for that area, but I have a custom audience. And you would maybe call that list Orinda homeowners or Miami homeowners or whatever, wherever your town is. And I definitely recommend that you do that. And here's a pro tip. Again, I mentioned that I do a class called Top Tools for More Listings, and this is part of that class. One is you definitely got to create a list like this for Facebook, but also take that list and put it in constant contact or put it in your CRM where you can email blast the flyer behind that landing page or any of the other flyers behind the PDF guides. Hit them up every week with emails. Hit them with an ad at least once or twice a month on that same group with the custom audience. And then also mail our nearby homeowner letter to that same group twice a month. That right there is the best formula for building a listing business. I'm not going to focus too much on that because we got to keep talking about Facebook, but I keep talking about custom audiences. How do you create? And if you go back here, you should all have a button that says create audience. It's a blue one up here. If you don't have, that's because there's some yellow marks down here, yellow box. You see this green one here? There's a yellow one that's telling you to click and accept terms or turn on retargeting. Do all that until this blue button is here. And here you could name it Orinda Homeowners. We're telling you this list has to be 1,000 leads long. Okay. So when you're buying that, you definitely want to make sure you've got 1,000 leads. Let's say you've got a development where there's only 800 leads. Go find another 200 and put it in there, because if you put it in here with less than 1,000, Facebook will not let you use it. So there's one really important thing here. You see where it says use this format? You know what that means? You got to use that format. If you upload a spreadsheet that does not look like this, it won't work. And unfortunately, we won't tell you that it doesn't work. I just know from experience it doesn't work. It has to have that heading just like that: email, number, first name, last name. And if you don't have information in the cells below, like you see there in the phone number, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Just upload it anyway. If you at least have the name and the email, Facebook is going to try and triangulate and find that person, put it in your list, so that when you go run an ad, sorry, and let's do that one more time for Orinda. If you run an ad and you say Orinda homeowners, excuse me, guys, and we don't type in location up here, but we do it down here, it's going to tell Facebook to show that ad to those people on that list that you bought, knowing that they have equity. That makes Facebook very powerful and affordable. So you definitely want to be doing that. Okay. So that's the Facebook kind of side of things. Let's talk about Google. And Google, I really only want you to think about when it comes to getting listings. If you want buyers, please run ads on Facebook. That's much more affordable, and it's slam dunk. It works all day long. But when you're trying to get something on Google, let me just first tell you why you want to do that, right? And let's just give a little comparison of Facebook. So Facebook is the number 3 website in the country. There's my old buddy Robert. People, this is the news feed where this photo is. Here's an advertisement from Temu, right? Some kind of Chinese shopping company. You keep scrolling down, there's some pictures, there's basketball players, there's whatever. And this is what Americans do. Here's something from Chase. American adults in the United States, not teenagers, American adults spend 40 minutes a day scrolling through this news feed. And you can see here, we've already seen 2 ads. When you run an ad with our platform on Facebook, it's going to look like this. It's going to show up right there. So it works. So if you're on your phone standing in line at Starbucks, if you're on your phone driving your car, if you're on a meeting right now listening to a boring guy like me, you're probably looking at your phone, looking at Facebook at what your friends are doing, what they're eating, and where your grandkids are. That is the power of Facebook. Okay. But that's not really, that's great. But there is a bigger issue. And the number 1 website in the internet in the United States is Google. And 86% of all questions asked on the internet begin on this webpage. Okay. And questions that are related to you are often going to be like, how do I sell my home? What's my taxes when I sell my home? What's it cost to sell a home? Whatever, all kinds of questions. When somebody's going to sell their home, I can tell you this is not what's happening. They are not opening a phone book and calling random realtors. That they are doing research often for months, weeks and months about what is going to happen. What do they need to think of, right? And is your information on here on page 1 of Google when that question occurs? Because wherever you're sitting in any city, and it doesn't matter what's going on, interest rates or COVID or whatever, there is somebody who is thinking, I need to sell my home. I want to sell my home. Maybe not this week, but I want to sell it. So you should be running a PDF guide ad. I remind you, there are 40 of these for homeowners. There's another 40 for home buyers, but I think it's really wise to concentrate on getting listings from Google, getting buyers on an ad on Facebook. And here's 5 dangers of overpricing. What else do we got? First time home sellers there, right? What else? Curb Appeal 101. What is probate? Divorce and real estate. Let's do that, right? And I'm going to show you a little bit how this works. So remember, we were talking about Orinda, and let's just keep going because I want to build out Orinda. So I want to be offering different kind of valuable assets to that market. And if I click in Orinda, publish, what are they, if they see the ad and it looks like this, what does that mean? That means if they click on it, if we click view link, they're going to land on this page, and all they got to do is give me their contact info and they can download it for free, right? So the difference here is when I'm on Facebook, I'm looking at what my friends are doing. I'm looking at the fun things I follow. But when I went to Google, I asked a question, right? And if I asked a question and you're giving me an answer, your likelihood of converting is much higher. But there's a point here that you need to know. It's $50 a day here. And why is it so much? And I've had this question, so I want you to understand this very clearly. It's a 7-day ad. That means you have exposure of spending $350 a week in 1 week, and then it's over. If you're sitting in Dallas, Texas, a lead from an ad from a home valuation, and maybe not for the PDF guide. Let's go over here and do this. Here is remember we did that tab, landing page, instant home value. Let's do that again. Orinda here. And so we don't really need to go through all clicking and understand this, but I do want you to understand, if you type in a location, I'm going to type in Orinda because that's about Orinda. If you're doing this in Dallas, those leads cost $30 each. If you have a $50 ad, you're only getting 1 lead, and $20 is going to be left on your card for the day. Okay. If you know it's $30 each, you could change that to $60, and now you know you'd get 2 leads a day for 7 days. If you're doing this in Manhattan, New York, it's probably more expensive. If you're doing this in Pennsylvania, these leads cost $22 each in Western Pennsylvania. In Utah, they're $17 each. And I'm sure they're less in other low population areas. Okay. If you're in Canada, in Vancouver on the West Coast, these leads cost $200 to $300 in US dollars each. The competition is very fierce there. But that's just the nature of Google. They charge a lot, but they are higher quality leads. I set up offices, I set up teams, and I feel like teams convert better. They really measure it, right? An agent gets leads. They might not even call those leads. They may just never do that. I don't know why they even waste their time, but there's a lot of agents that don't even follow up with leads. But on teams, I've been told like they convert 1 out of 70 Facebook leads, but they convert 1 out of 40 Google leads, right? And that's because the Google lead is a higher quality lead. They're asking a question on Google, you're offering an answer, and they have to sign up to get that answer, right? So there's a higher likelihood of conversion there. So that's really why you want to be on Google. And I will tell you, I talked about two things. Let's go back. I forgot to come back to this. You can all download this. It's inside the materials section of this GoToMeeting chat panel thing, right? And I talk here about connect Facebook, run ads on early stage, run ads on pending and sold, run ads on PDF guides. And then at the bottom of that Facebook, it says create a custom audience. I can tell you again, based on the whole settlement thing from NAR, before that settlement, getting listings was difficult. Come July 1, it's going to be even more competitive to get listings because everybody's going to be aiming at those. You want to be thinking of how you get those custom audiences for your core markets. You want to run ads on Facebook. You want to blast them on email, and you want to mail our tools and take our top tools for more listings class. And you'll hear me talk about this. And Google, I used to only say like Google is for senior realtors, meaning you've been in it for a while and you already know you need listings for your business. Times have changed. And I think everybody needs to, you may not be able to afford to compete on Google, right? And I understand that, but you want to get there because that is the number one website where people ask questions about cars, about lipstick, about their health, about where are great restaurants, and anything to do with buying or selling a home. It all starts right there, right? 86% of the time. Any questions about what we've been saying here? That's my story for today. Let's see. Ads, PDF guides, landing pages. I will say this. I don't see any questions coming up. On the landing page section, there are other landing pages. And you can create unlimited landing pages for new construction, for first-time home buyers, you can even create your own custom landing page. And with either Facebook or Google, you can drive people to that page, okay? So you may want to do that. You might have a custom concept that you want to get out there. Maybe you focus on golf course properties. Maybe you focus on new development in a particular development and you want to just get some model houses pictures in there and talk about the incentives. You can do that on a landing page and then drive people to it. I see questions here. Would you suggest a custom audience to reach potential buyers on Facebook? No, Alina, I would not. You don't need to go through that machination. And Alicia, I think you have my email, Vincent Listings Leads. We can look at your thing maybe later today. You need to go through custom audience to get sellers, to get high quality sellers. There's just no targeting there. And so, Alina, for you, if you think about Fair Oaks, if you think about Elk Grove, if you think about Roseville or Carmichael, these are all areas of a big, broad Sacramento metropolitan area that has nearly 2 million people in it. Without a custom audience, you're just spraying your ad all over the place and not able to target those areas. So that's why when you're doing listing marketing, trying to get listing marketing, you need to get that custom audience. When you're trying to get buyers, just use the default 15-mile radius and maybe even expand that, right? Yes, Vince, not Vincent. It's Vince at listings to leads like our website, and you're not typing it like our website. So our website is somewhere, listingstoleads.com. And I don't know if you can see the URL, but that's what it looks like. Guys, if you're not a client, you can sign up for a 14-day free trial on our website. Everything is month to month, so you can cancel anytime on your profile. And our system is very powerful and it works, but you do need to know how to use it, okay? So I don't see any other questions. This call has been recorded. It will be on the mastermind group, and go check it out. It will also be on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to repeat this. I said it at the beginning of the call, but I know people are coming and going. We record all these calls. I do think listings are going to be more important, and that's why I recommend to all of you to get to this page and watch 2 or 3 versions of top tools for more listings, right? It's right here. It's the 3rd one. I did another one actually 3 weeks ago because there are different parts of our platform that are going to help you get more listings. And I do different kind of concentrations. The mastermind group is on Facebook. You need to ask the support team to get you in. If I talk to you, and I can send you a link, but it's really only for our clients. Okay. So you can't actually find it because it's a private group. You can't find it on Facebook unless you're in it. I don't know, the Fight Club. Anyway, everybody, thanks so much. Oh, let's see. We have more questions. Okay. Yeah. Let me know what we can do. Lean on our support team. They're super helpful. And take care, everybody. Keep on it. Okay.